Bullet Club.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you've moved before, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time with us, this is Alan Presents. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Alan, and this is my co-host. This is my partner. This is Leanne. And as you've already seen from the title card, around about 15-20 seconds ago at this point, you'll already know that this is our prediction video for the upcoming WWE PLE Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the second to last, or it could be the third to last PLE of the year. We don't really know what's going on with Saturday Night Main Event, if it's a PLE or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Survivor Series is the one after this one, so this is coming up to the sort of the last run of PLEs for 2024. There is two in November. There's this one, and then there's the one at the end of the month at Thanksgiving, which is Survivor Series. So Crown Jewel is one of the ones that takes place in Saudi Arabia. I believe this one's taking place in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, on the 2nd of November. As such, we will be able to watch this live.
Yay.
I think for us in the UK, it's live at 5 p.m, I believe.
It's such a nice time.
Yeah, because our clocks went back, so we're no longer in British summertime. We're back in Greenwich Mean Time. So we're an hour back, as opposed to America, which I don't think they've changed their clocks yet. I think they're doing theirs this coming week. They usually put a week difference between us changing and them changing. The deluxe side of it is that even though it's in Saudi Arabia, this does mean that we get to see it a rather nice time.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes. So if you've seen this before, you know this goes. If not, I'm going to break it down. So if you have seen this before, just bear with me a couple of seconds while I break this down for all the people who may be joining us for the first time. The way that we do these predictions is the non-title matches follow with the title matches in the order that I'm most anticipating, or sort of what potentially could be the best match of the card. So we'll go through meh non-title all the way up to ooh non-title, then meh title to ooh title.
On a scale of meh to ooh, how do you rate this match?
Mid.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a bit surprised. There was only 6 matches. Well, there was 3 matches announced by this point last week.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden there's 7.
Oh. Okay, cool.
The hell? So we're gonna just get straight into it. And we'll cover the absolutely god-awful looking title belt later on. Because they've not actually put any official photos of this thing out.
Really?
Yeah, only the screen cap from the last, was it Bad Blood, when they showed it off.
They're so proud of the thing.
I know,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the first match we're going to talk about is Seth freaking Rollins, and he's going to be taking on Bronson Reed.
Yes.
So Bronson put Seth Rollins on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
With like 6 or 8 tsunamis, whatever it was, which was just a bit overkill.
Yep.
That segment ran way too long back on Raw when they did that back in, I think it was August. I think it was beginning of August, I think. And that it was awful then, and it's still awful now. Bronson could be doing much better than that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is my problem with it. And obviously he had a feud with Braun in between. And they were having this last Monster Standing match with Braun Strowman. And then in comes Seth Rollins, screws Bronson Reed by giving him a stomp on the salad steel stairs.
Yeah.
The salad steel stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And cost him the last Monster Standing match against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman hasn't been seen since this match because he legit tore his groin during that match.
Yeah.
I think it was quite early on as well, so it's testament to his staying power and that. Fair play to him. Like, that just it's making my eyes watch thinking about it. Since then, it's pretty much been Bronson and Seth going at each other constantly backstage.
Yeah.
And like, it's been interesting. It's been kind of, oh, okay, this is entertaining. Apart from this week's one, which you noticed looked a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it looked it was so obviously choreographed, and it was a bit, I don't know, too obvious that it was, I'm not going to use the F word.
The F word.
It was clearly like staged and planned out, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it didn't sort of feel as hard-hitting as it should have.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then they've got this thing where Bronson gets the upper hand on him, and I wasn't even paying full attention. He hit Tsunami again, possibly, I don't know. But then Seth Rollins has gone to the local medical facility with a back issue, with his back pain. And it's like,
back to that again.
I'm just getting flashbacks to Cody Rhodes with his broken hand fighting Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, really? Don't do this. Don't do this.
oh, you shouldn't fight him when
Now-
you're not at full strength. I'm gonna fight him because
The
that's
on-
what I do.
The only thing I can think of is that if they are pushing this as a legitimate injury,
Mhm.
they could have Braun Strowman make a random appearance to be the competitor instead,
Yeah,
which is a possibility.
Okay.
But we've already seen this fight.
yeah,
Do we need to see it again?
no.
No. And we'll cover more on that one later on. We'll get there when we get there. Strap in.
Let's go.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
this could be good. Bronson was doing some great stuff in New Japan. He decided to go back to WWE. I really don't know why. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins. He is really good. But I just feel that. But then I guess saying that in the sense of Seth always being in the title picture is kind of refreshing. Not seeing him in a title picture for a change.
Yeah, very true.
But is Bronson the right person? I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
it'll elevate Bronson. I don't know. Any final thoughts for you?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's doing anything, you know? There's no real stakes. It's a pissing contest at the end of the day. And it just keeps on going.
Do I need to put a censor in there or not?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
Let us know in the comments.
There's a cat through my mouth. That's lovely.
Typical.
Yeah, if you got anything else, then who have you got?
I'm going to go Seth. I feel like
Yeah.
they're going to try and make it
I agree.
underdog, even though he's not really, because he's a veteran, you know?
Yeah, I agree
It's
with
a bit
that.
of a weird one. I know it
And
doesn't feel like I want either of these guys to win this match. It's
I'd
weird.
rather Bronson.
Oh, bedtime.
I'd rather Bronson. Yawning is a sign of not regulating your breathing properly,
Yeah.
not so much sleep. But
Well, it's one of the reasons.
Yeah. But I feel that Bronson should be the one to win this match, but I don't think he will because it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You know, the golden child. And that's unfortunate because Bronson, as I said, is better than this.
Yeah.
Okay, the next match we're going to talk about then is from the SmackDown side of things, and we've got Randy Orton is facing off against Kevin Owens. So Bad Blood, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes.
That one.
Yeah, teamed up with Roman Reigns to take on the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won their match after Jimmy Uso returned and sort of got involved. After the event, Kevin Owens was talking to Cody because he obviously had an issue with him teaming up with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then he attacked him in the parking lot with the fans looking on, started throwing him into his tour bus and all this kind of lark. Obviously, Cody's really PO'd at this point. On the next week on SmackDown, and Kevin Owens in the ring, and Randy Orton comes down to try and restrain him, thinking it's one of the security guards. Kevin Owens kind of lashes back. I think he just elbows or he punched. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was an elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Catches Randy. Randy hits the mat, and then it's like, uh-oh. And then,
enemies.
but then in the back, everything was fine. It's like, heat of the moment, and they're kind of talking, and it's like, it happens. And all of a sudden, Randy gets jumped by Kevin again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Kevin Owens has gone loose cannon. Here we go.
He's
all
gone
right.
feral.
He has gone feral, yeah. So they then have been, I haven't seen any of the social media stuff, but they've been kind of keeping Kevin Owens off of SmackDown, but he's been posting on social media saying they're trying to silence me and all this lark, which has been kind of interesting. I haven't seen it, but I know that's an interesting way to go about it. And Randy Orton, oh my God.
Breathe. You need to regulate your breathing.
You won't have to worry about regulating your breathing if you carry on like that. We don't condone violence to your spouses, only Alan presents. And Orton's in the ring, and before he goes out, he sort of goes to Triple H at the gorilla position. He starts talking to him, goes to the ring, calls Triple H out to the ring, and Triple H is like, for God's sake, really?
Yeah.
Goes to the ring, I wish you hadn't done this. You want your match, I'm trying to protect you. I'm not protecting Kevin Owens, I'm protecting you from Kevin Owens, because he says, you say he's gone feral.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, he does give in to Randy Orton's demand, and the match is obviously made official.
Yep.
Any thoughts on this one?
I feel like the way they kind of got to this storyline, the initial spark of it, I guess, was a bit meh.
Yeah.
Not very creative, but I'm really here for this match. Just as a match. I feel like even if it didn't have any build up to it, I'd have been like, yeah, I want to see Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Yes, please. I've got mixed feelings about it, but it's going to be a good match, so that's what we're here for.
Both guys are great. Obviously, Orton's a 14, 15-time world champ, wherever it is, after bouncing the belt back to Cena every couple of months, every couple of weeks, or whatever it was. Owens is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There is a lot of speculation that he hasn't signed a new contract with WWE. There is speculation he's heading to AEW. On the other side of things, that's potentially a false narrative that WWE are putting out.
Could
And
be.
Owens has apparently already signed his contract, which is why some of the tabloids aren't or dirt sheets aren't mentioning it. So it's a bit. Are they trying to make a new story out of nothing to gain news and to gain eyes on the product?
Maybe.
You know, I don't quite know.
Keep people guessing.
But would I be happy to see Kevin Owens in AEW? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look at some of the matches you could have there. They'd be absolute barn burners.
Uh-huh.
But if we're getting more matches like Orton and Owens, I'm happy with that.
And it just goes to show that this match would probably be fine without a storyline. You don't always have to have a storyline for every match.
Yeah, all the WWE marks are going, AEW doesn't even do storylines. There's always cold matches. Would this take Wrestler A against Wrestler B and put him in a ring? Did you not watch Monday Night Raw?
It's the sports bit of sports entertainment.
There was like 3 matches which didn't have any build up to it whatsoever. So
it's fine.
Fun times.
You don't need lazy storylines. If you're gonna have a lazy storyline, you might as well have no storyline. It's fine.
If you got anything else, you got?
I'm going Owens.
Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
Reasoning?
I think that the feral nature will come into it, and maybe Randy Orton will underestimate him and think he's got the upper hand when really he doesn't. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think Owens is going to win it because I can see Owens, and I don't really want to technically see this because we've already seen it, but we didn't really see the proper match technically because they were friends. Owens is going to gun for Cody Rhodes' title again.
Yeah.
And we're going to get Owens versus Rhodes at some point again, possibly by the end of the year, maybe at Royal Rumble. I don't know when. But it's definitely something that I think they're lining up, especially with the attack on Cody. And this is just kind of leading into that. And if he can beat Randy Orton, why isn't he getting a match against Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of where I see that building up. And so I think you're right. I think Owens is going to win. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, the last of the non-title matches we've got is a 6-man tag team match. Stop looking at my notes.
I can't read them from here anyway. My eyes are terrible.
We've got OTC's Bloodline versus Temu Bloodline. So we've got Roman Reigns and the newly reunited, easy for me to say, Uso brothers. And they're going to be taking on 3 of the 4 members of the new Bloodline, or the Bloodline 2.0, or Solo's Bloodline, or Temu Bloodline, or Wish Bloodline, whatever you want to call them. Because it's Bloodline versus Bloodline, basically.
But they're all part of the same
Bloodline. I know. This
We'll have to get The Rock's family tree thing up that he had that one time.
So, okay, you're going to bring The Rock in. I really don't... No. I don't understand, right, why he turned up a Bad Blood, and then we haven't seen him since. The hell was that all about?
They probably didn't get the reaction they wanted, and they're like, oh, okay.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
If anything, it should have fed into this match, right?
You'd think maybe he'll turn up and interfere, but you won't know which side he's going to interfere with.
And surprisingly enough, they're doing this 6-man tag here instead of waiting for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And doing the War Games. Because that's still going to be a thing in my mind.
Yeah, they'll probably still...
It's still going to be full-on Bloodline versus Roman, the Usos, and someone else. Whether it's The Rock or someone else, I don't know. But we've got to this point from obviously the tag match we talked about with Cody and Roman. Obviously, they won against the Bloodline at Bad Blood. There was a lot of beatdowns happening since then. Oh my God, what is going on? With Solo trying to beat down Roman and Roman getting the upper hand. Roman coming down to beat up Solo and Solo getting the upper hand, or the Girls of Destiny getting the upper hand on Roman. And it's just been a big chaotic, like, oh, right, he's got the upper hand this week. He's got the upper hand that week. Okay, right, okay. It's getting a bit But Jimmy coming back at Bad Blood, I thought was a good touch.
Yeah.
We did do reactions to Bad Blood. I did quite like that. That was really well done.
It's a cat.
And obviously the next sort of week on SmackDown, he was saying to Roman that we can't do this alone. We need to turn to family. We need someone else. And Roman's like, no eat. Then obviously the Bloodline cost Jey Uso his Intercontinental Championship last week on Raw against Braun Breaker. Which is like, okay, that's interesting. I'm surprised I am and I'm not surprised in a sense. Surprised they decided to do that. And I'll cover that. I'll get that in a sec. But then on SmackDown, Jey Uso returns the favor, costs the Gorillas of Destiny, because I'm still going to call them that, the tag team titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. It's great to see the Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown. I'm surprised they went to WWE, not going to lie. Third match in, they're tag champs. Like,
yay!
what?
It feels a bit like
Okay.
it wasn't. I don't know. They didn't get the chance to earn it themselves, but that's fine.
Well, they did because they had a qualifying match
Yeah,
and the
they
number one
did.
contendership, so they
It's
did
just a
earn
shame
it.
that they won because of interference.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
But that's a whole different thing.
And then obviously last night on Raw, as we're recording this, we had Jimmy and Jay in the ring, and Jimmy's like, "We need to speak. You need to speak to Roman. You need to bury the beef. You need to come to SmackDown." And Jay's like, "Yeet, I'll be there."
Yeah.
Out comes the Bloodline. They start beating up on the Usos. The Usos get the upper hand, fend off the Bloodline, and then they bump into Sami Zayn in the back.
Yes.
And Jay's like, "Give me a minute." And Jimmy's like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." Walks off. And Sammy's like, "It's not your fight. You haven't got to do this." And he's like, "Well, he's my brother. It's my blood. You know, he's my twin brother, and it's the right thing to do." So then Jimmy's talking to Jay later on in the episode, and he's like, "Hey, you know, I think I'm gonna need to go speak to Sammy, you know, because I think this is just the right thing to do and all this kind of luck." So then, right towards the end of it, or just before the main event on Raw, Jay finds Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, "Shh, look." And you see Sami Zayn talking to Solo Sikoa, and it's like, oh, and then Jay's like, "No, yeet."
No, yeet. Yeah.
But it's like, it's obvious that Sami Zayn isn't going to join the Bloodline. He's not going to be joining up with Solo Sikoa. It's just a way to kind of put that rift in between Jay and Sami because they're quite close, and whether or not something actually comes of this. Who knows? So going back to the sort of Jey Uso with the Intercontinental title thing, I still adamantly believe Jey Uso should not win the Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker. I was talking to my friend about this one at work, and I said the same thing to him. He said that the Bloodline costing Jey the Intercontinental Championship in his defense is pushing him towards joining back with Roman and Jimmy.
Yeah.
In my mind, it would have been more impactful if he's going for his first ever Intercontinental Championship, his first ever solo's title, and gets screwed out of it in that way. Because he would have never have won the title. He's already held the title. He's already got that accolade. If the Bloodline had screwed him out of that accolade in the first place, that is more provocation to join up with Jimmy and Roman than losing the title in the first place, in my mind.
Yeah.
So I feel they've done this the wrong way. Really do think they've done this the wrong way. Yeah, and obviously SmackDown has it taped, as it does. They are in obviously Saudi Arabia this week. I have seen spoilers, which we're not going to do here because it hasn't aired. We're not going to talk about it. Rags' fur's getting everywhere now.
Yeah.
So yeah, any final thoughts on this one?
Not really. It's a bit like, I don't know. I'm hoping it's coming full circle, but we've still got a long way to go on this storyline, and it is kind of the same. It's definitely going to end up at War Games. Yeah. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind, it's ending up in War Games. Yeah, it just feels like it's going on a bit. I know it's like a new phase of the storyline, so you know, but it's a lot of Bloodline. Who you got? Don't say Bloodline. I'm gonna go OTC, I think. Yeah? No, maybe not this time. Go Temu Bloodline. You're going for Solo's Bloodline? Yeah, I think so. I think keep building it as a mission for Roman and the Usos, because they're only just getting back together, so they're not going to have gelled yet. They're not going to be back on form. Yeah, there's still going to be some friction there. So they need to sort of maybe lose this one, or interference will happen, or whatever, and then they need to build from that. They'll have a super montage going on for the rest until super montage until that one. I do believe the same. I think Solo's Bloodline needs to win this one. Yeah. The thing I've got is that you don't know what 3 members of the 4 is going to be in the match. True. I get the feeling it's going to be the Guerrillas of Destiny and Solo. I think they're going to have Jacob just sort of stood on the outside somewhere. The other thing I've got in my head with this one is potentially they could bring in their own version of the Wise Men. Someone who, I don't know who off the top of my head, but someone to sort of be what Paul Heyman was to Roman, which would throw Roman and the Usos off a little bit. But also, supposedly, Hikuleo has signed his WWE contract. Okay. Supposedly, they're waiting for the right moment to bring him in.
could this be the right moment? So you would have 5 members in the Temu bloodline.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know? So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that this is going to be the final iteration of that. And then obviously the other side of it then is who, if it's going to be 5-on-5 in the War Games, is it going to be The Rock?
Yeah.
Is it going to be, will Hikuleo join up the other side?
Yeah.
You know, Hikuleo being the younger brother of the Tongans, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, for those who don't know. He's the youngest. He's a very big lad. I think there's going to be some sort of shenanigans in this. There'll be probably a ref bump, you know, fun games.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that was the last of the non-title matches. Then we're going to move on to our first of 4 title matches. And the first we've got is the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending against Damage Control, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson from NXT.
Yes.
Yawn?
Yeah.
This women's tag division is just going nowhere quick.
Yeah. I didn't like how when they sort of announced that this was going to be, is it Fatal 4-Way?
Yeah.
And it was like in the back with the 4 tems there.
Yeah, just kind of arguing amongst themselves. Yeah.
Bianca and Jade was like, yeah, let's defend against 3 teams at the same time. This sounds great. I'm like, no.
Fatal 4-Ways are lethal. You haven't got to be beaten to lose the titles.
Yeah, no defending champion should be happy about getting into a Fatal 4-Way.
3-Ways are bad enough.
Just like
Fatal 4-Way just takes that percentage down even lower.
Yeah.
You know?
The NXT team, I can't remember the
Lash
names.
Legend, Jakara Jackson.
I know they've probably had a lot of exposure in NXT. I don't know.
Could not tell you.
I'm not sure they've had a couple of matches on WWE.
I think was this singles matches? I think it was singles matches, wasn't it?
I think so. I don't feel like that's quite.
This is how much attention I've been paying.
I know. It doesn't feel like it's enough to be in the picture, although the lollipop protector did make me laugh for like half an hour.
That really did, yeah. That was stupid. So, I mean, to me, this feels like WWE trying to force people to watch NXT.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you've got these people coming up and challenging for the tag titles. Who are they? Better watch NXT to find out.
Yeah. And they've just been like in the audience or whatever, getting involved, having a bit of a brawl.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are they here?
I don't know. Chelsea and Piper, what have they done to deserve a title match? Nothing. They haven't won anything.
Lose things. They didn't. Chelsea lost that.
The dumpster match. The dumpster match. Yeah.
And was a laughing stock for about 5 seconds, and now it's like nothing happened. I don't get it.
And then Damage Control, they've already lost a few times against Bianca and Jade. And it's like, why are they here again? Because there's no one else to do it. I've literally put in my notes yawn because this match is going to be bathroom break.
I mean, I'm going to just keep a little bit of hope that they're going to pull off a great match, because it could be. There's a lot of opportunities in a Fatal 4-Way, especially as a tag match, for a lot of action and tandem moves and just a lot of excitement.
See, in my mind, it's dependent on if one member from each team is allowed in the ring at all times.
Yeah, or if
it's 2 1-on-1.
1-on-1. So it can change the whole dynamic, and it could make things interesting.
I think,
but it also opens up a lot of room for error and sloppiness, because there's so much potentially going on at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
But I would love to see one of each team being in the ring at all times, because I thought being legal at all times, because I think that was an even better way of doing it. Otherwise, you've got everyone fighting over each other to try and tag, and it's like, oh, right, okay, this is going to get sloppy really quick.
We want the risk of like 2 people being pinning the same person at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Or even having 2 people covering 2 different people at the same time. And then it's like oh God, it's that chaoticness to it. And I think that's great.
Ref call, or then leads to another match quite organically.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else?
No.
Who you got?
Bianca and Jade retain.
Yeah, I agree.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be so excited about doing it.
I agree.
They foreshadowed themselves.
Yeah.
Positive mental attitude, I guess.
They're clearly not going to give it to the NXT girls.
No.
Chelsea and Piper, I can't see that happening. The closest one will be Damage Control.
Yeah.
And I can't see that happening right now either.
Not because they don't deserve it.
No, absolutely not.
But if they win it after like already losing, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't work.
No. Cool. All right. So moving on to the next match. It's the next of our women's matches, and we're going to start talking about those hideous belts. It's Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan.
Oh.
So the representative champions for each brand.
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath. The story's been told a million times in the WWE, mainly with Nia Jax as well. Yeah, great, yeah. Again, in my notes, I put yawn.
She's the Goliath of the women's division. I guess that's nothing going to change.
There's been pretty much next to no build-up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Liv is mouthed off, Nia's mouthed off.
Yeah.
Tiffany got involved. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So the belts.
So the belts. Go on, Leanne. I'm going to let you take this one.
Real sparkly.
Really ugly.
Pretty ugly. Glaring on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Real diamonds.
Is it 50 something?
50 carats of diamonds,
carats,
something like that.
A couple of thousand or something.
Why?
And there's not one of these belts, there's two of them.
There are people starving in the world. Why? It just seems like over the top, tacky a bit. It's like they've been carrying these belts around by white gloved men in like a protective case, and every time it comes to the arena, someone has to check that it's still there, and it's just egregious. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's completely over the top, and it doesn't sit right.
It's unnecessary
because it's so like what a waste of resources. They could be developing stars, they could be doing all sorts of things with the money it would have cost, and fair enough, it's probably funded by people in Saudi Arabia who are trying to get them over there because they have great relationships and there are some rich people in Saudi Arabia. But it just feels like it's a bit of a kick in the face a little bit to people who are struggling in the world. Maybe.
The big and sort of talking about the real world complications, but they're just sort of in the wrestling world of this.
Yeah.
My problem with both this and the men's match is that why have you got champion versus champion and you've got this hideous looking belt?
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't it be like you're going over to Saudi Arabia, the champion should be defending against someone?
Yeah. Not
facing the champion from the other brand. That just feels a bit stupid to me.
It's also unclear what this belt actually means.
Yeah.
Is it, I think we were talking about this earlier.
Yes, we were.
Is it something to be defended year on year? So do they become, the first one is then the Saudi Arabia champion, I can't remember what it's called, the Crown Jewel champion.
Crown Jewel champion.
And then they're defending that next year against a different champion? Or is it a 1 year thing? So this year it's the champion versus champion, they get the belt. The next year the belt's relinquished and it's champion versus champion for the belt. We don't know what it is, and it feels like there's no point to it.
Nope, feels pointless.
At the same time, they could have had a Saudi Arabia belt. They could have had a Crown Jewel belt without it being. Do
you know what would have been more fun?
Top.
Okay, well, the last events they had in Saudi, I think it was the last one actually, was King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Why didn't they have a tournament to crown the Crown Jewel champion?
Yeah.
I know it's all this best of the best versus the best and all this kind of crap, but a tournament still decides that.
Yeah. And where do you go from here? Where do you go?
So if Liv Morgan gets this belt, for example, right, is she going to be carrying the women's title and this thing, which is probably 50% bigger than a normal title?
Can you imagine the weight on that thing?
Yeah, and Liv's tiny.
Way.
Liv's tiny. Like the belt, the normal belt is probably about this big, maybe about that, right? The Crown Jewel one next to it is like this.
It's huge. And it's like, if it's real diamonds, like they're saying, that's weight.
So you got the leather, you got the gold, you got the diamonds. It just feels pointless.
She'll just have those white gloved men carrying it around.
She'll probably stick on Raquel Rodriguez if she wins it. If Nia wins it, she'll stick it on Tiffany, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pointless. It feels pointless.
Yeah.
It feels stupid. I like the champion versus champion aesthetic doing Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Because it's brand dominant, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But they haven't done that in a few years.
No.
Like you had the Intercontinental Champion versus the United States Champion, the Tag Team Champion versus the Tag Team Champion. And that was fun, and I liked it when they did that, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
This just feels unnecessary. I've said it before with AEW as well. I don't like champion versus champion.
No.
Like when Ospreay fought Swerve Strickland. I didn't like it then. Was it a great match? Hell yes, it was a great match.
Yeah.
Did I like the fact there was a champion not putting his title on the line on a pay-per-view? No, I did not.
No. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Anything else on this one?
I guess taking the belt out of it, I think Liv and Nia can make a good match.
Can. It depends on how Nia's feeling that day, I reckon.
It's very dependent on a lot of things, but it is always fun having the big guy versus the small guy, and then you've got the different styles of wrestling and how the small person can like get out of the way and do flippy stuff or whatever. So it could make for a good match, but like you say, it really depends. Nia doesn't have the best track record for not
Playing ball.
injuring people.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And Liv Morgan's going to have Raquel with her, clearly.
Yes.
How's Raquel going to do a back thing when she can't show her back?
True, because well, it's gone a bit better, I think. I can't remember what it was like last year in Saudi with the women's
I think they were
outfits.
still covered head to
I think
toe.
they're still covered. So yeah, she could. She hasn't been doing the back thing since she's been back.
Well, yeah. I think she did it once. Yeah. So yeah, if you've got nothing else, you got.
I'm gonna go Liv only because I don't think I'll be very happy if Nia is the queen of the ring and also Crown Jewel champion.
Oh, imagine.
The ego would be just
never
out of
shut
this,
her up. Jesus.
out of this world. So
Yeah.
I'm going Liv for that reason and that reason only.
Who am I going for?
Liv?
Liv Morgan.
It's the underdog story. I don't know. Maybe overdone.
Raquel will interfere. Tiffy will probably come down and distract Nia somehow,
Yeah.
which will cause this rift to split even further between her and Nia Jax.
Do you think Tiffy could cash in?
No. I still firmly believe they're waiting until Mania.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if she cashed in to get the Crown Jewel championship, though? Would that be possible, do you think?
It's for any
It's a
title.
championship.
It
it's
is
a
for any title, yeah. That would be awful, though.
That'd be fun.
That'd be awful. No.
It'd be
It'd be
pointless.
awful. No, pointless. It'd be awful. Yeah, no.
No.
Cool. Moving on to our next match then. Defending the United States Championship, we have LA Knight
Yeah.
versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade in a triple threat match.
I nearly had a panic then when you did that. I was like, I gotta do something. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm paying attention.
I'm contributing.
Continue.
So going back to what we were saying earlier with constant match after match after match
Yes.
after match after match.
Yes.
Carmelo Hayes versus
Yeah.
Andrade, match after match after match. They've had 7 matches in what, 2 months, 3 months, if that.
Mental.
My
Yes.
God, I'm so fed up of this. I'm so
Ooh.
bored of this. And they're all the same match. Now, I know, right? Someone will go, AEW did that with
Yeah.
Death Triangle in the Elite.
Okay.
Yes and no. Was it a best of 7? Yes. Was every single match the same? No.
No.
There was ladder
That's the point.
matches, there was cage matches, there was tables matches, there was all different kinds of matches. These have literally been straight matches
Yeah.
for every single one of them.
What's the one? Is it in AEW at the moment where they're doing this 7 series? And they've got it like listed on the bottom with which of them's won each one. and
No, this
everyone
is
has
this.
7. That was
This is this.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was LA Knight.
No, it's
I
Carmelo
thought
and
it was something
Andrade.
else. Oh, Carmelo.
It's Carmelo
I
and
got you.
Andrade, yeah.
Okay, I got so flustered by the thing that I forgot what was going on.
No, it's this. Because they
Yeah,
won
it is
3
this.
apiece.
Yeah,
Then they
that's
had
right.
the 7th match. Because
And
it was
LA
going
Knight
to...
interfered.
No. It was going to
No.
discern who was going to be the Intercontinental #1 contendership for the United States Championship.
Yes.
And LA Knight was dumped in as the referee.
That's
And
right.
he kind of beat them both up and rang the bell and threw the match out.
I'm with you. I apologise. I derailed
It's
that
fine. It's
completely.
fine. You've been ill as well, so you know it's fine. And that's the only thing. And that's what I was going to say actually before you went on the weird tangent. That was the only thing that was different between any of these matches was that last one with LA Knight
Yes.
as the referee,
Uh-huh.
and that literally they could have just done a 1-on-1 with any two guys, stuck LA Knight as the referee, and we would have still gotten to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
With LA Knight defending in a triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, I don't want to see Andrade and Carmelo Hayes touch each other ever again. Because I'm so freaking bored of it.
There's no reason to have 7
No.
one-on-one matches between the
Nope.
same guys.
Nope.
And they've made a thing of it. It's like, oh, come on. You could just
But
stop at 3.
Leanne,
It's
but
like,
Leanne, all the marks will say, but it's storytelling.
Is
No,
it?
it's not. It's because they've got no one else to friggin' use.
I don't feel like there's any story.
Because they had AJ Styles come back against Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes did something and it screwed up AJ's ankle, so
Yeah.
he's back on the shelf again.
Mm-hmm. The only story is, oh, let's do it again.
And again. And again. And again. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It just goes
Didn't,
on and on and on.
Didn't Andrade win the first 2 of this 7
I think so, yeah.
series? Could have just ended it there.
Best of 3. There we go. Andrade won.
Finished. Bye.
But again,
LA
they
Knight
don't know what else
versus
to do.
Andrade.
They just don't know
Yeah.
what else to do because they've got all this talent
Yeah.
and they just want to push the same guys constantly and it's pointless.
Yeah. I don't really enjoy Carmelo Hayes very much.
No.
I don't know. He comes across really
his first night on
pretentious.
SmackDown. He comes across what?
Pretentious.
Oh, pretentious.
And, like, a bit smarmy.
Yeah, no, he did, yeah. But I mean, that's probably the character.
Yeah, it's probably the character.
But like the first night on SmackDown, when he fought Cody Rhodes, he completely missed and nearly took Cody Rhodes out with an injury.
Yeah.
Good job, pal. Good job. Yeah, no, I'm bored of this. Is this going to be a decent match? Probably.
Yeah.
The only reason it's here is because I think the other women's... Well, I said this is bad, but the women's matches are going to be worse.
Yeah, probably. You're not wrong. But yeah, I mean, Andrade is great.
Yeah.
He's a really good wrestler. He's got so much skill.
When he's allowed to do what he can do.
Yes, that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. LA Knight, we know, was outstanding.
Yeah.
So he's going to make it great. And then Carmelo Hayes, I guess he brings some of the more lightweight stuff in.
Botchamania highlights.
Yeah. It could be. It's another one. It could be a good match. The storyline isn't there.
Storyline is pointless.
I'd rather it was someone else, but I don't know. It could still be fun.
Yeah, hopefully. Anything else?
No.
What you got?
LA Knight.
Yeah. I'm putting that as my pick as well.
Yeah.
But I am very nervous about them giving it to Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, no, thank you.
I know.
Can we have that as our ultimatum? No.
You got cold hands.
Thank
No.
you.
Nah. Yeah.
No, we won't.
No.
No.
I've just
Ultimatums
gotta-
have to involve
was
a
it
certain person.
SummerSlam? Was it SummerSlam where he won that title off Logan Paul? Yes, it was. So August, September, October. It's only 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it'd be way too soon to pull this off him.
Yeah.
Or November by the time it rolls around, so technically 3 months. But yeah, no, I think that they need to keep it on LA Knight for a little bit longer. Have a strong title run. He's not really done much with it.
No, you're right.
And again, it's a case of, well, you've got all these people, you don't know what to do with them. How about you stick some new people in with LA Knight and try and build some things up? You know, it's
Yeah. I mean, that's the right time to be bringing some NXT guys up, not for like one-offs, but
Or how about just use the roster they've got already?
yeah, I could. But they're all injured.
They
and
brought
stuff,
up
right?
loads of people from NXT during the last draft, and
Yeah.
you have barely seen any of them. Okay, and that leads us on to the last match of the event, which is another one of these absolutely disgusting Crown Jewel title
But
belts.
this one's got black leather.
But
The
this
women's
one's-
one is white leather.
Yeah, and we're going to see Cody Rhodes defending. He's not defending.
No.
Cody Rhodes facing off against Gunther.
It's wishful thinking, isn't it? Yeah. Similar story.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much almost the same as Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, where there's been like bitching back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
But there has been a modicum of respect with the two.
Yes.
So Cody said he respects Gunther and his ring sort of prowess and whatnot. Gunther did say he respects Cody, but he rests too much on his family's legacy and stuff. And then
Fair.
Cody did take shots.
Yeah.
He did open a couple of salvos and start beating up Gunther last week on SmackDown. Which, okay, yeah. I mean, but again, that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, which...
It's the problem with this format. It doesn't... It just sets up the match without a storyline. So then they have to try and shoehorn in some rivalry.
But Leanne, WWE Marks will tell you WWE always does storylines and AEW does no storylines.
I mean...
You can tell me when they start telling lies. You're lying. You're lying.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going back to AEW a lot today, but this it just winds me up that people are saying, "Oh, well, there's no storyline to this." But look at this: two of the headline matches have no storyline to it.
You don't always need storylines, but when you're not having storylines, you want stakes, right?
3 of the 4 title matches, the 75%, have no storyline.
Crazy.
Have you got anything else about this match? Because I don't.
That's the only thing I guess I'd say. I think you're
The belt is hideous, yes, we know.
Yeah, I agree with your placement of this match being the most anticipated of the title matches.
I think it could be a really good match.
Cody versus Gunther on its own sounds like a solid match. Just regardless of... They don't necessarily need a build-up for it, I don't think. They don't need a storyline. These two guys having a fight sounds fun, whatevs. Don't need the belt. We don't need the belt.
They should have just gone back to brand versus brand and have Cody versus Gunther at Survivor Series.
If you have champion versus champion, you can just do it for like kudos, right? You don't need a...
Well, that's exactly what Survivor Series was.
Yeah, you don't need
it was more brand supremacy, Raw brand versus blue brand.
Yeah.
Red van versus red van brand blah, blah, versus blue brand.
You got bragging rights for a bit.
Yeah.
That goes a long way in sports entertainment.
And that's actually how it started off. There was an actual pay-per-view back in the day called Bragging Rights.
Ah, there we go.
And it was red versus blue, Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah. See, I'm looking forward to this match, just not like the gumph around it.
Yeah. Just to keep these belts out of the way, because I think this is literally going to be much like Braun Strowman's Greatest Royal Rumble win, where he had that title belt. we haven't seen it since then.
Yeah,
I get the feeling this is going to be a once-a-year occurrence.
I think so.
That you'll only see the belt once a year, and then
Yeah.
it'll be swept under the rug somewhere.
What I would love to see is for both of these titles, when they announce the winner and present the belt, the winner has to put on white gloves before they're allowed to touch it. We want.
Sorry,
this,
we don't want you sweating on the diamonds.
You're not allowed to touch it unless you're wearing white gloves.
Imagine, that'd be hilarious.
I think that'd be great. And then they have to like just hold it and then put it back in the box and it gets whisked away.
Not even that. They just kind of look at it, stroke it, and then the lid gets shut. They don't even wear it. Like. And then what do? They bring out a toy replica
yeah.
with Velcro.
Can it be one of those ones that's on the gaudy chain thing? That the merch. So you got the gaudy chain with the championship belt.
Yeah, why not?
One of those.
Why not?
Because more gold, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Who have you got?
Oh, I forgot we hadn't done that, but I'm gonna go Cody.
Cody?
Yeah. I'm not sure I've got a reason. I think either of these guys could probably take it.
I'm going Cody as well. And partly one of the reasons I picked Liv Morgan was because I don't think they'd have one brand taking both belts.
Yeah.
And I'm adamant Cody's winning this.
Okay.
Because Monday Night Raw, when Bret Hart was there, what did Gunther say to Bret Hart? Who was his favourite wrestler?
Oh, Goldberg.
Who showed up at Bad Blood? Who did Gunther have a pop at? You could say it. It's not like Beetlejuice. You don't say his name 3 times and he pops up. Yeah, I get the feeling. Oh, Jackhammer! Ah!
It is Halloween.
It is Halloween, yeah. Well, nearly.
Nearly.
Yeah, I get the feeling that they're keeping it stum, but I reckon Goldberg's going to turn up. And possibly lead into a setup for a match at some point. Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Interestingly enough, we did briefly touch about Carmelo Hayes being our ultimatum. The guy that we use for our ultimatums, do you know the reason he's not on this card?
No.
Because he refuses to go to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that something Goldberg will probably show up, screw Gunther at the title, Cody will win it. As such, then, I don't think that Nia Jax will take it because they'll be SmackDown with both titles. I can't see that.
Okay.
That's my logic.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool. So that's all of our predictions. Now into the final thoughts. As an overall kind of PLE, it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. There's some potentially good matches in
It's
there.
also not the best.
Definitely not the best.
So what you're saying is, Leanne, it's a bit mid.
Yeah.
Yeah. To coin a phrase from good old MJF. Least looking forward to match.
Ooh. Oh, least. Oh. I think it might be the women's tag team.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I feel like there is like the faintest glimmer of potential, but I think it's more likely to go the other way.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a shame.
It's bad. It sucks that it's coming down to that.
Yeah.
Because as the problem is that the one that we did cover first, Seth and Bronson Reed, I still think that'll be good.
Yeah. Because
it's Seth Rollins and he can make a lot of people look good. I'm not saying Bronson isn't good because he is.
Although the brawl on Raw last night did make me think a bit like, oh no, what's going to happen?
But this isn't going to be a brawl. It's going to be in the ring.
Yeah, so it's more controllable.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Most anticipated match.
Randy Orton, Kevin Owens.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like there's a lot of potential for that to be a banger. So, yeah.
I think it's definitely going to be a banger. I don't see this floundering at all. It's going to be straight out the gate. They're going to both go straight after each other. I think this is going to be a great match, but it's my runner-up on that one. For me, just because for the potential of seeing where it's going to go, is Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yeah.
Roman and the Usos back together to face off against Tamu Bloodline, against Wish Bloodline, against whatever you want to call it.
Can we call Roman's Bloodline the M&S Bloodline?
the Waitrose Bloodline.
This isn't just the Bloodline. This is the M&S Bloodline.
And then obviously this is going to lead into Survivor Series in about 4 weeks' time.
Yep, very true.
With War Games. And they already announced that War Games is Survivor Series, so that's going to be what's going to happen. Yeah, and I'm curious to see if Hikuleo shows up.
Yeah.
If they get the Wise Man to show up, or an alternate Wise Man for Solo Sikoa. Is Paul Heyman going to show up? If Paul Heyman shows up, Is he going to bring Brock Lesnar as a neutralizer? Who knows?
We've been saying that he'll probably bring Brock Lesnar for a long time.
The problem is, it's still surrounding this Vince McMahon controversy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, and the whole sexual trafficking, human trafficking thing. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we'll be back with our reactions probably on Sunday. By the time this finishes and we record, I won't be able to edit it quick enough to get up on Saturday night. So, we'll be out on Sunday. Probably by midday, I reckon. I'm not going to put a number
UK
on that,
time.
but yeah. I was waiting for midday Pacific Coast. That gives me another 8 hours, right?
I don't know time zone.
I think it's either 7 or 8.
Something like that.
And after that, we will be covering Full Gear later on this month. Although I've got a really bad feeling that's going to be the same weekend as Survivor Series. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hope not.
I
need to look into that.
Out.
I need to look into that.
I don't want to miss any of those.
No, not at all. Okay, takes away, Liam.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. Please like this video if you liked it. Hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I had my can in my hand, so I couldn't at the same time. I thought that would have been on the floor.
You can follow us on our socials. Our link tree's in the description below. It will take you to our Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can talk to us there or in the comments. Let us know what match you're most looking forward to. Hit us up with your photoshopped versions of how they should hold these fancy new titles when they're not allowed to hold them. I think if anyone can do one of those, I think I'd be very, very happy. So do that. I'm not sure if you can put that in the comments. That'll be on socials. There you go. I think that's everything. We'll see you for our reactions. And until next time.
Have a happy Halloween on Thursday.
Woo!
Club.